Great. I think I'm going to go ahead and get started. And welcome, Angie. It's okay if you don't have your camera on. Okay. Also, hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us for our after school webinar on a little Canva workshop where we're going to spend a little time just having some fun with magic. So I'm going to call this our magic workshop. My name is Karen Wright Balbier, and I am an instructional technology specialist working with our digital and learning resources department. Of course, inside of our webinar, we have a couple other instructional technology specialists that will be helping me out in the chat. So if you do have any questions, feel free to type them in the chat and they'll definitely alert me if we need to pause or move back. I'm just going to be honest with you today. I'm just going to do something fun. And so you're not going to see me connecting everything to content area, but help me make those connections or just have some fun with it. I'm going to be thinking about those bighorn sheep that they released in the Franklin Mountains, and we're going to just design some fun things to go along with that. Okay. Um, so real quick, CanvaEDU is this amazing digital design tool that we have access to for free. So it doesn't cost EPISD any money. Canva gives away their resources for free to teachers and educators. And so our teachers and students all have access by simply going over to their class link and clicking on CanvaEDU. They should be dropped into a team. I'm going to call it a team, a school team, and they'll have access to all of the tools for free. So even some of the pro features that people will pay for in a personal account will be available for free for students. But additionally, they have access to some educational content for free as well. I want you to know that Canva is collaborative. So as we're making something right now, I'll be working on my own. But as far as having students working in groups, it's very possible for 4 students to work in one presentation at one time, collaborate, and take charge of different pieces of their presentation. This is more than presentations, although that will be my focus today. Students can create infographics, they can create Instagram posts, they can create videos. There pretty much are endless designs inside of Canva. So I'll take a moment to share a few basics when I open it up. My plan is to take you through magic presentation. So we'll just make a magical presentation about big horn sheep. Some AI generated text for some questions or some facts, AI generated images because, I don't have any pictures of these sheep right now. Have a little bit of fun with some text in apps, a little bit of AI editing, and of course, top it off with some magic translate. All right. So if you're ready, if you have 2 devices, of course, it's going to be easiest if you do because you can watch and create along with me. But of course, my hope is that you'll create along with me. So I'm going to head out home and I'll give those directions again. If you've never used Canva before, you're going to make sure that you hop into your EPISD class link. And then you're going to make sure that you click on your Canva icon and that should take you in. What I do want you to know as a quick basic is that up here in the top right-hand side, this is where you're going to notice what team you're in. You do want to make sure that you kind of select that drop down and that you are in the team you intend to create in. If you have a personal account with your EPISD email address, that will reside here, but you should see what school you teach at. Or possibly if you were at a different location last school year, you might see 2 schools. So that means that you would be in 2 teams. So I'm going to stay in my digital and learning resources team here. And for students, they should also see the name of their campus. And if they are at a new school, they might also have 2 campuses as well. Okay. All right. So to get started, I want you to know that across the top, when I talked about the different presentations that we can create, those all reside right here, presentations, and there's more. We can also upload existing documents that we already have. So if you have a really great presentation and you want to spiff it up with some of the things that you learned today, you can most certainly upload a presentation here. Right across the top, Canva's starting to make things pretty easy. And when I say that, they're placing really cool new tips, tricks, and tools across the top and making them easier to find. And so we can make an image. We can write our first draft, resize any design, or move backgrounds. And those are some of the AI things that we'll work with today. But what I'm going to do is I want to get started by just creating my first presentation. And I'm going to try to design it with a little bit of AI. And so if you're getting started on creating a presentation and you want to maybe not start from scratch and you haven't use the templates or designs that they have, you could always start with presentation, and it's going to give me a blank presentation. These are, of course, the templates I could choose from. Or up at the top, this little magic sign usually indicates AI or magic inside of Canva. It says use 4 words or more to describe. And so I told you, I thought I would just do something fun with big horn sheep. And I think that we should maybe create, a presentation about bighorn sheep. Let's see if it'll make one for me. And so up here at the top, it's probably generating my AI template. I'll be a little bit patient. I'm hoping. There we go. We've got bighorn sheep here, or exploring the majestic bighorn sheep. So I'm just going to apply this, but this is one way that AI could help you get started with just, get started with the presentation. There you go. So I'm going to apply all 7 from my magic design. Usually what happens is all of the templates will appear when you click all 7 pages, but I'm just going to go with this here. I'll just put in the first slide and that'll be just fine. Okay, so it got me started with at least my first slide about the majestic bighorn sheep here. And what's neat is it built my presentation for me, but just like those features that we already have in Canva, I'm seeing that, you know what, this bighorn sheep, part of him is missing off this mountain, and I just want to adjust this photo. Inside of Canva, anything that's brought in as a photo, remember, you can double click on and kind of readjust it. So I'm gonna, be a little bit of a design snob here and move my sheep and then bring that back in so that it looks the way that I want it to look. So the thing I wanted you to know about inside of Canva is that you can create a presentation and you can type in what you would like to help brainstorm or generate some ideas for a presentation. And that's part of that magic design. So we're going to go with a little bit of image generation. So if you've been using Canva a bit, right, on the left-hand side, you have some different things that you can generate or pull up. Elements is one of my favorite places to go whenever I'm designing a presentation because I can just search for the things that I would like. What they've added now is they've kind of hidden some of the AI items inside of our different features on the left-hand side. And so I don't have to go out and try to figure out where in the world I would generate my own AI image. It's actually built into Elements because that's where I go to search for images. So I want to take a minute and generate my own AI image. And that's something you can do as well when you're building presentations for your class or your students are working on designing things that they want to use to demonstrate their knowledge. So great rubber duckies here, but I can use a little bit of prompt engineering here and describe what I like to create. And maybe I want a bighorn sheep in the Southwest with, maybe I should put desert Southwest, with a Christmas tree at a safe distance, maybe. We'll give it a nice little festive tree. And so I'm going to search and see if it would create a nice little image for me so I can make a festive or add a festive bighorn sheep here. Oh no, okay. There's definitely no tree in this one, but I do see a nice, lovely bighorn sheep here. So it created an image for me. What I could do is, with a Christmas tree, I'll put in the background and we'll see if we get something else. I wonder if this could be useful for you in generating images. And if you can think of a way that you could use the image generator that you want to share, definitely pull that into the chat. And then Jesus, read any off if we get some great ideas.
I always seem to have more success with graphics than I do real images because it'll generate, especially when I'm being very specific. I tend to have more success with graphics than real images. Although AI is very powerful nowadays, sometimes it just glitches that way, you know?
All right, we're going to go with graphics. And so what I did differently is on the left-hand side, instead of images, I'm going to go with graphics. Notice there's videos, which I wasn't planning on exploring today because generating a video does take a lot longer. And so we'll see what kind of graphic I can get with a Christmas tree in the background. And so it is generating. And again, if you are generating something and you want to share that, I'd love to hear about that in the chat. Got quite a few images here. I don't know if this is
I guess
the
AI
kind of tree
doesn't.
I was thinking of, but
I guess AI doesn't really make a connection between Christmas trees and bighorn sheep, you know?
maybe. But that's the fun of this, right? Okay, so um, I did save the pictures, and so the nice thing is on the left-hand side, when I go to uploads, those images are now going to be in my queue. Let me show you what it generated when I was prepping, because this one came out perfect. I mean, look at that. That was like what I was hoping for. But the second time it generated, not so much. It gave me these items. So maybe I should go with this great one that it wasn't going to regenerate for me all over again. So we talked about the magic design where you can start your designing your presentation. Here we go. And of course, how you can AI generate these images. So these images were not taken from the web. They are generated here through my description. Okay. So other things that we can do is, again, looking at the different resources we can add to our Canva. We also have text. And so I'm excited because in here, again, I was always trying to search for, well, where is magic this? And all of the magical stuff that I can add, there's magic right here. I do want to warn you that to my knowledge, Magic Write has been turned off for our students, but Magic Write is turned on for you as an educator. And so if here I wanted to just have a couple facts about bighorn sheep that I might want to share with my students, I could start here. It's still important to do a little bit of fact checking. So I'm just going to click on Magic Write under text. And here's where I could, describe what you're writing in 5 words or more. So I'm just going to say fun or interesting facts about bighorn sheep and their adaptations. All right, we'll click generate. Oh, that's probably more than I want to put in the slide, but apparently they're fascinating creatures and they have adapted to the rugged mountain environments. So hopefully they'll do well here in El Paso. They have curved horns that weigh up to 30 pounds. Now, this is something that I want to use, rewrite, and kind of change a little bit for my students. I can most certainly just click insert, or I can copy it down here on the bottom and then add it to maybe a document where I'm going to collect some facts to share back with students. You can change it. So I could say, yes, more like this but, and then ask it to make some changes to the text that it wrote for me. So I'm just going to click insert for now. And I could definitely use some of this information and change it up a bit so that I could create a fun little presentation to share some of those interesting facts about the adaptations and how it's going to do well in our harsh, dry environment here in El Paso, Texas. I wish I could hear you guys go, "Ooh, that's cool," but I don't know. I don't know how you feel about this, but I think it's cool. All right. So moving on, we talked a little bit about the elements, and that's where we generated our AI image of our bighorn sheep here and the nice little tree in the background. Under text, another neat thing that we have available to us, and I think back to the time that I was creating these shadow letters inside of PowerPoint and how far we've come. But you're going to notice that when you're scrolling down, you can also create some really great titles for presentations as well. And so I just want to kind of share that these are here, but also there's some really neat apps that are available for generating text as well. And so normally I see them in here and I'm not seeing them right now. So I'm going to hop down on the left-hand side and I'm going to look for apps really quick because I do want you to know that there are these really great apps that we can use to generate text as well. And so if you are inside of the apps area, you can click on AI powered if you want to find some AI generated apps. And so these would be to generate some text or generate, in this case, we could, use the magic morph and morph our own letter design in here. And so some of those things are available here. I think I'll try magic morph. And this will allow you to change text into some other type of, I'm going to call it a texture. And so I'll click open for this. And it does tell me to select an element, which I don't happen to have on my page. So let me take a minute to go back to text, and I'm just going to type the title of what I have here. Move that up. We have big horn sheep, and we'll leave it like that. There we go. I'm going to hop back over to my apps because I know there's this AI powered app called Magic Morph. And you can decide what you want the look to look like. And so earlier today, I tried something that came out really bad, but I'm going to try it again. Basically, I wanted the text to be thorny. So I'm gonna try that. Hmm, brown, thorn, th, thorn, brown thorns. Or maybe we should put horns. There we go. And then you can click Magic Morph, and it's going to begin morphing the text into a picture that hopefully comes out really cool with brown horns. And so it'd be a way that you could create a cool master title for your presentation. Okay. All right. I hope it's impressive. Let's see. So I'm going to pull this up here. But we have bighorn sheep. And let's see if I can manipulate my size a bit. Not working out exactly the way I was hoping, but it is one way that you can kind of use AI to morph text into something else. Here it actually looks a little bit, it doesn't look very much like horns, but maybe it's more like brass horns than, and I could be a little more specific in saying I wanted them to look like horns of an animal. So I'm not going to generate it again because of time, but that's definitely one of the fun things that we have inside of our apps. Another app, and let me just duplicate this page so I don't delete anything that I wanted. So I'm gonna hit the three dots and I'm gonna duplicate this page. And this is nice for students because if they're prototyping or they're creating something, but they want to make it a little bit better, I'm gonna refine it a bit. They can definitely create several variations and vote on their favorite. But I've also found that there is another app called Letter Type. And so students can use lots of different apps to create the exact look that they're hoping for. Let me hop back over to text and see if it'll be kind to me. And I'm not seeing the app that I used earlier that I wanted to share with you. That's okay, Font Studio. So you do want to take a look and maybe jot this down because I had already forgotten after looking for it. There is an app inside of apps called Font Studio. And this is one that I thought our students might really enjoy. And from within here, again, I was used to spending time looking for shadowed text and trying to morph them around. But here inside of Canva, they already have a lot of designs that students can use. We'll go with classic here. So if I click classic, what's going to happen is it's going to generate an image for me. So it won't be editable, but if I were to use that text area on the left-hand side, I could type the title of my presentation, or even if they're using this for social media, right? Go bighorn sheep. And I apologize, I didn't check to see if bighorn is supposed to be two or one word, so I may have this wrong all over the place. There we go. That does not look so great. There we go. Bighorn sheep. And then as you're scrolling down, you can choose your font. And so it looks like that, yes, but I know it was hard to read horn. And so I could definitely change the font and find something that might be a little bit more readable. And they can still make changes to the colors and the shadows. And students really enjoy customizing things to match their theme. And so you're going to see that just because you pick a specific type here, it doesn't mean that it's not editable. But once I add it to my design, there we go. Now it's an image, so I can't double click and make changes to it, right? I can make changes up here and then bring those items in my sheep. There we go. And it's a separate image. So that's one that I've been really enjoying tinkering with, and that's Font Studio, so that I can use to add to designs that I can use on a page. All right. I want to pause and see if you guys want to share back any ideas or any thoughts so far. All right. I'm just going to assume you're having fun watching. Okay. So I'm going to hop over to this AI generated image because I did also want to share with you that there is some kind of magical, awesome things built into our images as well. So I'm going to duplicate this one more time because, like I said, as I'm building, sometimes I don't want to lose my original item. I want to make a lot of changes and have fun tinkering. And so I recommend doing the same. So I'm going to take this, and anytime you click on an item, or let's call it an image inside of Canva, you're going to notice across the top you have your different ways that you can edit an item. And one of my favorite tools that I was like, wow, this is all in one, all in Canva, is the BG remover, which is just a background remover. So I'm going to click on that really quick because typically what it does is it removes the background. And so this is really great for students as well if they're wanting to build something and they want to be on the slide, or they find a great image of something for maybe an animal they are researching, but there's all of this stuff behind it and they want to remove it and put it on top of another background. And so, of course, in Elements, this is where I could go and I could do a search of El Paso Desert and see if we do have a photo of that. Doesn't look like the El Paso Desert, but let's snag this mountain here. And I can definitely put it in a different environment. Let's just put desert. Be a little nicer to me. Okay. Not an El Paso. Let's go with this one. Here we go. So this desert, and you'll notice that, of course, layering, it's above my sheep that I want to add over to the top. So you have something called position on the top. And if you click on that word position, you're able to go to the layers and just drag and drop items into different locations. And so that's one of the things that I feel like is magic inside of Canva, that I can very quickly and easily move items so that they're easy to see without doing that right click, layer, move forward, move back. You can just drag and drop them by clicking on position and heading over to layers. Okay, so that's one cool thing. We have the BG remover, but there's also options for us to edit pictures and videos inside of Canva as well. So I'm going to click on this edit button here, and right across the top, you're going to see all of the Magic Studio items. And so we're going to tinker a little bit with some of these, and then I'll bring in another picture that we can use for a few of these others. So for example, I can do something called a magic grab. Let's do a magic erase. So I decide that, you know what, I don't want this fireplace or this fire burning near my beautiful bighorn sheep. And so here we have the option to brush or click. So I'm going to use the brush feature, and this brush size is, of course, how large whatever it is that I'm trying to swoop away. So if you have an image and you just need one thing out of it, like the person who's photobombing your picture with your family, you might just take a minute to trace it, and then you'll click the word erase, and it should remove it from the picture and do its best job to kind of keep it looking like the original image. And maybe right here, if I want to try to erase off this little part that might look like a little bit like the flame, I can, of course, click on that and then work on seeing if it would magically erase that one little item. So that's a really neat feature that we can use as well. And again, students can use as they're looking for images inside of Canva. If part of it doesn't match their presentation, it's okay. They can magic erase that out. Okay, so let me close out of the magic eraser here. There we go. And I'm going to go back to edit. There we go, edit. So I can see these other options that are in here. There's a tool called Magic Grab. Magic Grab is pretty neat because we can pull an item out of a picture. And so let me hop over to this one picture that we have. And I want to maybe grab out this bighorn sheep. Let's see if it's going to work. So I'll click on it, click edit, and I can magic grab just this one guy out right there. And then I can use it in other parts of presentations, or maybe I can make it a little bit smaller. So I'll click the word. So I'm on click, by the way. I clicked on the bighorn sheep here. And when I click the word grab, it's going to allow me to remove it from the picture. There we go. So I can move it to a different place or location here in the presentation. Maybe it can be a little bit further back. And so you can make some changes and modifications. So as again, you're grabbing images, if it doesn't quite match your storyline, you could definitely make changes to it just by using that magic grab. Um, I was using it earlier because, and this is going to be not bighorn sheep related. There are times that my teachers tell me, group of people, that they take a picture of a whole group and they accidentally took a picture of a student that is not allowed to be in a photo, right? So I'm just going to grab one of these here. And so they really need to remove one student before they can post or share it, right? So I'm going to head over to edit again. And this is another way where magic grab could be important because you could remove someone and delete them or magic erase. And so I was sharing that, yes, I can erase a fireplace, but if I hop over to magic erase with one click, maybe I need to just erase this person who's not allowed to be in the photo because I'm going to post it on the internet or on the campus Facebook page. And this would be one way that you could remove someone in that special situation magically, magic, and continue on.
You know, Karen,
But
I'm thinking
really,
about we have some new team members and we have some picture with some older team members that have, moved on. We could remove them and not even have to retake that image anymore because it's so hard to get us together in one spot, you know?
so in one slide, we'll magic grab the new people. And then in another slide, we'll magic erase the old people. And then we'll use the layering to put them together.
That's just
Brilliant.
amazing. I had not even thought about that. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So, sometimes we show up to take a picture and then we're not even wearing no one told us, and we forgot to wear something that we, would rather have worn to be in a picture. Inside of Magic Studio, there is something called Magic Edit. And so in this little tiny image, you can see that someone's holding a group of flowers, but they want to change it to a rose, like their favorite flower. Well, we can also use Magic Edit to change our clothing. And so let's see, I'm going to magic, give me one sec. So I'm going to go back out and I'm going to magic remove one person really quick. So I'm going to magic grab one person to make this easy. And I'm going to pull her out. And so I think about all the things that I've wanted to change inside of photos. And now I'm like, I can get creative right here. I don't even have to hire anybody. It doesn't have to be perfect the first time. So here is this person, right? And what I want to do is I want to magic edit her outfit. And so here, this is where you can describe a little bit of prompt engineering, what you want this person to be wearing. So I'm gonna brush real quick. I'll just brush her shirt. I'm not gonna be perfect here. I'll do my best. Okay. And I'm gonna change the size of my brush really quick because it won't look good if on the other side her shoulder is
And with
bigger than
this
it needs
feature,
to
you
be.
can zoom in and be as precise and exact as you want to, right?
Yeah, you can definitely zoom in a lot right down here on the bottom. And then, as you mentioned, Jesus, be precise. Thanks for reminding me of that.
No,
I think
I know,
it's going to
I
be
know
pretty
you're doing a
close.
great job right now, but yeah, if you really wanted to get detailed, you could.
Yeah. And this does show me that I maybe left off the whole bottom part of her outfit here. Okay. So she needs something professional. So we could say um, professional jacket and shirt. Here we go. And I'll click generate. So what it's doing is I'm telling it what I want it to replace what she's wearing with. So I'll generate this. She's smiling, so I hope she likes what AI generates for her. Hmm. Professional jacket. Let's just go with professional jacket. Generate again. I might need your help with prompt engineering if this doesn't come out beautiful, because pretty soon she's gonna be wearing a dress, okay?
Or coat.
Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know where they're getting these designs from, but okay, we'll say that this is the one. A lot of times when you put professional jacket, it actually looks like a suit jacket, but maybe I should put suit. Um, feminine, feminine, uh, but suit, no suit. Well,
I
you
think
said
suit jacket
coat?
might work. Coat or suit jacket might work.
Okay. I'm trying not to give up on this, but look, I just did. All right, it may be too late. Okay, just because I exited out. So there she is with her new outfit, although her other shirt did look better. But you can definitely use, as I mentioned, edit. And that was this magic edit to replace things. So you can find and replace a flower for another flower, or a fruit for another fruit, or a tree for another tree. Just make that swap if you're wanting to make that swap. So I couldn't think of a really great thing that that I wanted to edit my bighorn sheep with using some of those features. All right, let me see if there are any last little items. Sorry, guys, I clicked out and I got to navigate my way back in. So all of those features where you're looking for magic edits inside of Canva are right over when you click on the image, then you're going to have those magical items here on this side. Okay, I do not happen to have text in any of these pictures, and this is a magic grab text. So I'm going to pull one really quick that I do have in my uploads. And so this is how you can remove text from a photo if there happens to be text inside of a photo. So for example, I have this one where our team took a picture outside of our student digital film festival. And so this is where I could use or utilize the grab text feature. And so if you have a picture and it's outside of the school you don't work at anymore, and the name is across the top, and you're like, I just want to take that off, you would just click that grab text. Okay. And here it's identifying and highlighting all of the text on the page. And so I think, okay, I want film festival and students, or maybe I just want the word student to be pulled off. Then I'm just going to want to click on what I want to grab so that I can remove, or the word action. If I want the word action to come off, I'll click the word grab. Because of the way student looks, I'm a little nervous that it's only going to take half of the word. Okay, so now student, I can remove from this film festival, and it could just be the film festival, and that's it. So you can magic grab text off of a picture, which again could be nice if there's a sign or something interesting in the background and you do want to remove that, or maybe a logo off of a shirt if we zoom in. But I did want to make sure that I shared that one with you. All right. Heading back out, I think we covered all of the magical items that I wanted you to know about in here. Expand is not going to be one that I can demonstrate for you, but sometimes people will take pictures that are, like made for Instagram, but they change their mind and they actually would like that picture to be, in a nice portrait that they can print out or post on some other social media. So Magic Expand will actually magically expand a picture and fill in that space. Let me try to see if it'll magic expand. Although this one already was a really nice picture to start off with, Magic Expand will resize it so that you're not having to stretch in or zoom in on one tiny little Instagram photo to make it a different size. So while that's working, the last thing I wanted to make sure that I show you, and I'll consult my notes here in a moment to make sure I didn't miss anything, is that we also have Magic Translate, and I want you to know that that exists as well. Okay, here we go. There we go. So if this is the AI generated, let me go with done. Magic expand of my little beautiful sheep guy here. I can definitely use that and reposition with my layers so that one is behind, and then my text is on top instead of having maybe that black box there. And so you can make a little bit of changes. I don't think I like that black line either. So now I have a new cover for my presentation and that I can use with my students. Okay, last thing. All right, so I'm not going to be the best evaluator of whether this translation is good. So I'm going to use Jesus for this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to magic translate this. And so sometimes there'll be times where you need to quickly translate something that you create inside of Canva into another language. And I want you to know that it's hidden under the word resize. Okay. So if you went over to the word resize, it's really great. You can resize things and you can create other items, right? So turn this into a video if you want, turn it into a whiteboard if you want. But when you hop down to the very bottom, that's where you're going to see magic switch hidden. If I want to magic switch the language here, I'm going to go to the word translate. And from here, I'm going to select the language that I want to translate to. So Spanish because I know Jesus speaks Spanish there. I'll click Spanish. You can choose the tone. I'm going to leave it the original tone. I don't know what it's going to sound like if I go with inspirational, although majestic. Yeah. And then you can choose which pages you want to translate. And so I'm just going to translate the whole thing, although I only have text on 3 of the pages, I believe. And then down here it says translate existing design without creating a copy. I actually want to have a copy in English and Spanish, so I'm not going to check that box off. I'll just click the word translate, and then it's going to work on translating this. And now I'm going to open my presentation that hopefully is in Spanish now. And all of the text that was generated should now be in Spanish. This is not text. Remember, this is a picture that I created, so that's why this didn't translate. But maybe I would grab my text from there. Jesus, how is it?
It's wonderful, and I love that. My biggest issue with writing, because I can write in Spanish, but I always forget the accents. Where do the accents go? So
Mm.
I didn't know Cimarron had an accent. I only went to third grade to school in Mexico, so I didn't get the full Spanish language, all the way through high school. So I forget where the accents go, but I love that it
Okay.
puts it in there for you.
Yeah, and we have that here in the text too. A little bit longer. I'm gonna have to resize it. And Duolingo, just so you know, Jesus lets me know if I forget an accent.
And you know what? The thing with Spanish is like it's so much wordier than English, so it tends to add a lot more descriptive words than the English language. So you do have to adjust for that with your text boxes. And you may need to split it up into another slide because it might get
Mhm.
just a little bit more wordier.
Yeah, that's definitely not what you and I would suggest in a presentation, a whole bunch of text to read off. It'd be more bullet points, and then we can get going that way. Okay, so I'm just going to review with you guys real quick. Let me hop back out to the original, the one that I had made for you just to get started. That, of course, I was hoping to just share a few of those basics with you, right? The magic presentation that you could AI generate text, images, use a little bit of the text inside of our apps to generate as well. You could do some editing and magic translate. I didn't share with you guys how you would share if you wanted to collaborate. And so if you're new to Canva and you want me to stop and just show you how that collaboration piece works, if you're wanting students to share and create together, I definitely have enough time to share that. But I hope you had fun kind of playing around in our little Canva workshop with some of the magic. And the best way to remember those things is to add some pictures intentionally, maybe some things that mean something to you, and just start tinkering with them and transforming them into new creations. Thank you guys for joining us.